obviously, I'm sure you're following the San Antonio story very closely. I'm sure you have been following the story closely. What happened with, I want to say Salvador Ramos, right? Am I saying the last name correctly? Ramos, right? And video came out the other day with cops are waiting to go in. We don't have the right tools. And that's led into all this conversation about gun reform and, this one could have been saved. People from both sides have come out and said this could have been prevented from happening. There was many mistakes that was made from the, stand, don't go in yet. How are you handling the conversations that's being had right now about having gun reform? And if we could have any kind of reform, I'm curious, do you like the way we have it today, or any ideas you would have that you would suggest any kind of reforms from your end?
Well, naturally, the left and the forces of pro-government that want to diminish our freedoms are focusing on the guns, okay? And I think that's completely misplaced. I don't think gun reform would have prevented any of the measures. Even if they confiscated guns from all law-abiding Americans, this person would have come up with some kind of a weapon, to kill children, and maybe kill even more people, whether it's an explosives or, black market firearms or a machete. I think the focus needs to be more on mental health. Tucker Carlson had a good, he ran a tape from Charles Krathheimer, who had been a psychiatrist and very respected television commentator, but originally had been a medical psychiatrist, and that's how he had made his living. And he made the point that, the problem is the way government is handling people who obviously have mental problems. They're not institutionalizing them. They're not bringing them in to when somebody makes a threat, as this person did before they killed people. That ought to trigger. Bring in a person, people should report that to the police, and the police should then take this person, have them mentally evaluated. And if this person is judged by competent psychiatrists to be a threat, they should be kept institutionalized. And the proclivity of the medical bureaucracy to just release dangerous people has got to be reversed as well. The bias should be that unless you are yourself willing to maybe accept legal consequences for letting go somebody who later kills people, so that you're not scot-free. If you're a psychiatrist and you say, okay, I'm letting this person out on the streets, and then you are not at legal risk at all yourself, that's just encouraging, emptying out the psychiatric hospitals. That's the direction that we need to be able to take. The left wants to protect the privacy rights of these people more than the lives of children, and they would prefer to blame the boogeyman of guns, when the real boogeyman is the small, very small percentage of mentally ill and evil people, who are being protected by the left, basically, through privacy laws and by tying the hands of both the police and psychiatric institutions, and allowing so many of these people that we don't keep institutionalized anymore because it costs money, and it's cheaper to let them go off and become homeless and become dangers to society. It's the policies of the left, and conservatives are always fighting on the defensive, being put on the back foot by saying, over the gun rights argument, when the real argument should be, over mental health policy and how do we treat, this portion of the population. Also, I think, we ought to be more aggressive in protecting our children. There ought to be in every elementary school and public school, an officer, maybe a retired cop, armed, or the principal should be armed, or a parent who is trained in the use of firearms ought to be vigilantly protecting these schools where their own children are located, on a volunteer basis. We also need to think about more seriously about just the architectural security of these these schools. So many windows, that and multiple entrances that people can get into. The schools ought to be designed with safety doors, for example. Once that door is secured, you'd need should need hours to get through it. You shouldn't be able to just walk in. So there are a lot of practical things we can do.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.